Enterprise cloud computing promises speed and infinite scale, but for many teams managing the SAP Business Technology Platform, the reality looks quite different. Administrators often find themselves trapped in the BTP cockpit, manually clicking through menus to configure services and assign user roles. This manual administration, sometimes called ClickOps, breaks down quickly as an enterprise scales. Hand configuring dozens of subaccounts inevitably leads to configuration drift, where your development, testing, and production environments slowly fall out of sync with each other due to human error. That fragmentation creates security gaps. When teams rely on manual setups, they often fall back on default settings or use generic shared technical passwords to connect cloud applications to on-premise systems. The disorganization also bleeds into budgets. Without a standardized, logical structure backing up your deployments, tracking exact costs and allocating charges to specific business units becomes nearly impossible. Realizing the actual return on your SAP BTP investment requires moving away from manual cockpit clicks. Organizations must transition to a code-driven DevOps approach to manage their cloud infrastructure. Transitioning to this automated architecture starts with standardizing the account model. Before you can automate, you have to organize. The BTP hierarchy starts at the top. The global account is the enterprise container aligning with your commercial contract. Beneath it, directories logically divide the enterprise by business unit or region. Inside those sit subaccounts, the actual environments partitioned into development, QA, and production. Enforcing this strict architectural hierarchy across the board and combining it with custom metadata tagging gives an organization precise cost control and secure operational boundaries from day one. Once the cloud environment is structured, the next challenge is securely linking it to your on-premise SAP S/4HANA systems without relying on vulnerable, shared technical passwords that mask who is actually requesting data. The solution is principal propagation. Through the SAP Cloud Connector, this establishes a trusted relationship. When a user logs in, their identity token travels to the Cloud Connector, which maps that identity and generates a short-lived X509 certificate to access the on-premise backend. This provides passwordless security. Because the backend system sees the exact individual making the request, users only interact with data their SAP role authorizes, completely eliminating the risk of identity spoofing. With structure and security handled, we reach the final stage of BTP maturity, managing the entire platform through infrastructure as code. Using the Terraform Provider for SAP BTP, platform teams define their desired state in configuration files. They can provision subaccounts, map specific user roles, manage entitlements via code, skipping manual cockpit entries. Of course, many enterprises already have existing manually configured BTP environments, and rebuilding them from scratch isn't practical. To bridge this gap, teams use a command line utility called the Terraform Exporter for SAP BTP, commonly known as BTTF. The BTTF utility connects to your live BTP landscape, automatically ingests the metadata from your existing manual setups, and programmatically generates clean, reusable Terraform modules. Once your infrastructure is defined as code, the SAP Cloud Transport Management Service, or CTMS, steps in. CTMS orchestrates a deployment of these configurations, safely moving changes from development to production with full audit trails. Combining Terraform's resource management with CTMS orchestration moves infrastructure provisioning into an automated, code-driven workflow. This replaces slow manual tasks with a system that is reliable, repeatable, and ready in a fraction of the time. In this fully mature state, spinning up identical, secure subaccounts for a new project takes minutes instead of weeks. Because the infrastructure is version controlled and deployed via automated pipelines, the cloud-to-ground security remains airtight. Developers can deploy new features with confidence that the environment is consistent. The human impact is just as significant. IT professionals are freed from the stress of being reactive administrators, constantly processing routine access tickets and manually clicking through setups. They step into the role of true platform engineers, focusing their time on driving enterprise innovation and scaling the business. Take a look at your own organization's operations. Are your teams still trapped managing the cloud through manual clicks? Or have you evolved to operate at the speed of code?